Hello and welcome back to the Leading Yourself podcast. As always, I'm excited that you're here for another episode, or if this is the first time that you're joining us, welcome to our community. Today, we are diving into the power of optimism and how cultivating a positive mindset can transform your life. Life is full of challenges and uncertainties, but adopting a mindset of an optimist can help you overcome obstacles with resilience and with grace. So join us as we uncover 7 key traits of optimistic people and learn how you can incorporate them into your own life to lead with more positivity and more purpose. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. Life can throw us curveballs and challenges that sometimes make it difficult to maintain a positive outlook. No doubt about that. That is one thing I know for sure that applies to all of us, to you listening, to me right now, to everyone. However, I think that cultivating optimism is a powerful tool that can help us navigate through the ups and downs of life. Optimistic people possess a unique mindset that allows them to see opportunities in obstacles, to focus on the brighter side of life, and ultimately lead happier and more fulfilling lives. If you want to embrace more positivity and to embrace an optimistic perspective, I'm going to share with you 7 things that I've seen optimistic people do differently that you can start implementing today. Now, before we start, I want to clarify that I am not suggesting that you should always be optimistic. And a lot of times we associate being optimistic with being naive or always being smiling and always be happy. Life doesn't work like that. As I said, there's always going to be ups and downs. There are going to be days that you're going to feel happy and days that you're going to feel frustrated or sad. You're going to experience all the array of emotions, no matter whether you are an optimist, a realist, a pessimist. That is life. That is human nature. What I'm trying to say is that because we know that life is going to throw us curveballs, there's always going to be challenges, there's always going to be setbacks, we are in a better position to go through that with a positive outlook if we keep and cultivate optimism, because it can help us see things from a different perspective, right? As I said, to see opportunities instead of obstacles or threats, to see the bright side of things instead of the things that could go wrong. So just want to point out that I'm not intending to suggest in any way that you should always be optimistic. I'm just saying that being more intentional about cultivating an optimistic mindset can be helpful in navigating the ups and downs of life and to have a better experience throughout the journey, one that leads to happiness and fulfillment. So let me share with you 7 things that I think optimistic people do differently. And what I love about these 7 things is that any of us can start implementing them right away, right? It's not like these are traits that people are born with that make them different. These are things that we all can cultivate. So to start off, I'm going to start with one of my favorites because I personally have seen how this can be life-changing. And that is they practice gratitude. Optimistic people have this appreciation for the little things in life. They take the time to reflect on what they're grateful for, whether it's a beautiful sunset, a supportive friend, or a simple act of kindness. By cultivating gratitude, you can shift your focus from what is lacking to what is present, fostering this positive mindset that characterizes optimistic people. Starting a gratitude journal, jotting down a few things that you're grateful for every day can be powerful practices. And you can start to experience a change in the way you see the world and you experience the world. And this is me talking from my own experience. Optimistic people have a unique ability to find joy and appreciation in the small moments of life. They understand the transformative power of gratitude, and they make it a priority to reflect on what they're thankful for every day. Again, it can be anything. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. And I want to go a little bit deeper on this. I know I talk a lot about gratitude, but a lot of times when I talk about gratitude, people associate it with just the act of saying thank you. And it's much more than that. It's a mindset that shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. When you cultivate gratitude, you're basically training your brain to notice the blessings that surround you, even in the midst of challenges, right? By acknowledging the good in your life, you create a ripple effect of positivity that extends beyond yourself. One powerful way to cultivate gratitude is to start, as I said, a gratitude journal, to take a few minutes each day to jot down these things that you're thankful for. It can be just 3 things, no matter how big or small they are. It could be as simple as a smile from a stranger or as profound as a breakthrough in your personal growth journey. By documenting your blessings, you create a tangible reminder of the abundance in your life and you invite more positivity into your day. I always say that to people when they ask me about gratitude, because it's been so impactful for me, that for me, as I embark in the journey of gratitude, which was, I started a gratitude practice as part of my morning routine, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, you start to discover that the more you express gratitude, the more blessings you find to be grateful for. So I really want to invite you to start right here. Just grab a journal, embrace the practice of gratitude, and watch as your perspective shifts, opening your heart to a world of abundance and possibility. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Optimistic people view challenges as opportunities for growth and for learning. Instead of getting discouraged or overwhelmed, they approach setbacks with a solution-oriented mindset. When they faced with difficult situations, they try reframing them by asking themselves, what can I learn from this? Or how can this experience help me become stronger? So this shifting in their perspective empowers them to find solutions and to grow from every obstacle that they encounter. They have this remarkable ability to view challenges from a different lens. It's like they put a different pair of glasses through which they look at these challenges. And again, they see them as opportunities for growth and for transformation. And they don't allow setbacks to derail them, right? They approach adversity with resilience and a solution-oriented mindset because of the lens through which they're looking at the problem, at the challenge. When they're faced with a difficult situation, once again, instead of staying stuck in their frustration, they embrace the challenge as a chance to learn and to evolve. They understand that within that particular obstacle lies an opportunity for personal growth and personal development. One powerful way to adopt this mindset is to reframing challenges through empowering questions. I believe in the power of questions. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of a situation, ask yourself better questions. What can I learn from this experience? How can this setback propel me forward in my journey? These are powerful questions that can help shift your focus from the problem to the potential solution and empower you to take proactive steps towards resolving the problem. Additionally, maybe you want to consider challenges as opportunities for innovation or creativity. Often, when we are constrained by problems, it forces us to think outside of the box to explore new possibilities. So when we embrace challenges as a chance to stretch our creativity muscle and discover maybe more innovative solutions that maybe you didn't consider before. I'm sure that you've been in that place at one time, that you were in the middle of a problem and all of a sudden you thought about something that you had never thought before, and you solve the problem through this creative idea, and then you realize, why didn't I came up with that idea before, right? I'm sure you've been there. I can think of a couple of situations recently in my own experience where I've been there, and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't knew I had the capability to create that creative solution. And it feels good, right? But it requires forcing yourself to look at things from a different perspective. And again, the best way that I know, and maybe you know of a better way, but for me is all about the questions that I ask to myself. Depending on what questions I'm asking to myself in the midst of that challenging situation is how I react to the situation. And what lenses, what glasses I put on to see at the situation from that perspective. Remember that every obstacle that you encounter is an opportunity in disguise. By reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and for learning, you empower yourself to overcome adversity with resilience and with optimism. And let me tell you that you're going to emerge stronger and more capable than before. So next time you have a setback, embrace it as a stepping stone towards your ultimate success. Let's move on to number 3. They surround themselves with positive people. Optimistic individuals, they recognize the profound impact of their social environment and what the impact that it has on their mindset and also their overall well-being. They understand the power of surrounding themselves with positive influences, people who uplift, inspire, support them on their own journey. So for this, what I'm thinking that I think you and I should consider, right? The company that we keep and the energy that they bring to our lives. Do your friends, family members, colleagues foster that positivity and that encouragement? Or do they perpetuate negativity and pessimism? See, optimistic people are intentional about curating their social circle, choosing to surround themselves with individuals who radiate the same positivity and optimism that they want to have for their own. So this is an invitation to seek out friends, mentors, colleagues who share your values and your aspirations. Engage in meaningful conversations that stimulate growth and foster that sense of connection. Look for opportunities to collaborate and support on other people's goals and dreams. At the same time, be mindful of toxic relationships that maybe are holding you back. Distance yourself from people who consistently undermine your confidence, that criticize your ambitions, or drain your energy with their negativity. And instead, surround yourself with people who believe in your potential and encourage you to strive for more, for all that you're capable of. By surrounding yourself with positive influences. You create an environment that nurtures your optimism and also empowers you to pursue your goals with more confidence and with more enthusiasm. So choose your social circle wisely and watch as your positive energy propels towards greater, higher success and fulfillment. Let's move on to number, I think it's 4. I always lose count when I'm trying to go through my list. I should know better on numbering these on my cheat sheet that I have right here with my talking points, but I think this is number 4, and that is they practice self-compassion. Optimistic people understand the importance of self-compassion. They treat themselves with kindness and understanding and forgiveness when they face, again, those setbacks and challenges and even failures. They practice self-compassion by acknowledging their strengths, by accepting their imperfections, by refraining from self-criticism. They recognize that self-compassion is a cornerstone of mental and emotional well-being. They understand the importance of treating themselves, again, with kindness and understanding and forgiveness, especially in times of adversity. Now, to practice self-compassion, we can start just by acknowledging our strengths and our accomplishments, celebrating our own successes, no matter how small, and recognize the progress that we've made on our own journey. Instead of dwelling on your shortcomings or mistakes, try to focus on the positive aspects of yourself and your life. Accept your imperfections as a natural part of being human. I learned years ago the hard way because I used to be a perfectionist and I was always striving for perfection. But life has taught me that that is an utopia. Perfection doesn't exist. We are perfectly imperfect. That is part of our human nature. And I think accepting our imperfections is critical because while there's a positive aspect on perfectionism, which is always wanting to do things better and improving everything, there is a downfall to that, right? And that is that we're never satisfied. We're never fulfilled. And it can make your journey pretty miserable, right? Especially if you're looking for happiness and fulfillment. Understand that everyone experiences setbacks and failures, and that these experiences don't define your worth or your capabilities. That was my big life lesson, right? I think reframing from harsh self-criticism and negative self-talk and instead cultivating a mindset of self-acceptance and self-love is something that optimistic people do well, and it helps them enjoy the journey and be more present in every step of that journey. So treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to your closest friend that maybe is facing a similar challenge that you are. Why is that we are so good at offering kindness and understanding to other people that we love, and we are our worst critics? Like, we beat ourselves up over and over. And I always try to remind myself that there is no more important relationship in my life, no more important people in my life than myself. Because if I am not capable of loving myself, I won't be capable to give the best of me to others around me. And I have to remind myself of this all the time. But when you treat yourself with that same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a close friend that is facing this same challenge, and you offer yourself words of encouragement and support, and you acknowledge the effort that you've put on and reminding yourself of your inherited value and worth, you start to see life differently. You start to experience life differently. Remember, no one is perfect, and experiencing setbacks is a part of the human experience. Embracing self-compassion allows you to bounce back from adversity and have more resilience, right? As you do that, fostering a sense of inner peace and contentment. And by practicing self compassion, you cultivate a positive relationship with yourself, laying a foundation for a life that is filled with joy, with fulfillment, and optimism. Let's move on to number 5. They focus on solutions and not problems. We talked a little bit about this before, but while it's natural to encounter problems, optimistic people direct their energy towards finding solutions rather than dwelling on the issues on hand, right? They have this remarkable ability to actively seek for solutions rather than becoming negative in the face of challenge. They approach difficulties with a proactive, solution-oriented mindset. For us to emulate this approach, which sounds wonderful, I think we all get it in theory, right? We listen to it and like, yes, that makes sense. We should be focusing on the solution and not on the problem. It's easier said than done, right? So to emulate this approach, I would say we all need to start by reframing how we perceive the problem. Instead of viewing them as immeasurable obstacles, we need to see them as opportunities for growth and innovation. Breaking down that complex problem into smaller, more manageable tasks and allowing yourself to tackle them one step at a time. I think that is one strategy that I find helpful personally when I try to shift my perspective. One is, of course, the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. We talked about that. But then is also, again, breaking down this complex, hairy problem into smaller chunks that are more manageable. Because we tend to feel overwhelmed by the size and complexity of the problems. And a lot of times that paralyzes us. And then is when we start dwelling on the problem instead of focusing on the solution. Then I would say once we have broke down that obstacle into smaller pieces, the next thing will be like brainstorm potential solutions without self-judgment or criticism. Really a true brainstorming exercise where no idea is a bad idea. Encouraging creativity and thinking outside of the box, exploring different approaches to address the issue. Consider, seeking input from others, leveraging their diverse perspectives, their insights that can help generate innovative solutions. A lot of times we believe that because it's our problem, we need to fix it ourselves. And it's okay to ask for help. And I would say when you're problem solving, having people that have different perspectives is so helpful to come up with a more creative idea. And then once you have identified a few potential solutions, then take decisive action to implement them. Set clear goals and timelines, allocate resources, and the support that you need to facilitate the progress, just like you do with a problem at work, right? Embrace a mindset of experimentation and adaptability, recognizing that not every solution will be successful on the first try. But I don't think I've told you anything that you didn't know. You probably are already approaching this with technical problems. I'm making air quotes, whatever technical means to you at work. And we can mimic that with our own personal problems. As you implement the solutions that you've chosen, it's important to monitor progress to adjust your approach whenever necessary, and also to remain flexible and open-minded, willing to pivot or course correct as you get new information. A lot of times we think about a solution based on what we know, but we don't know what we don't know, right? Another important piece here, I think, is to celebrate your success along the way, no matter how small, and then learn from any setback or any challenge that you encounter. By focusing on solutions rather than problems, we can reclaim a sense of agency and control over our own circumstances. We can cultivate positive momentum that propels us forward, empowering us to overcome obstacles and achieve our goals with confidence and resilience. Okay, we're almost there. Moving to number 6. They embrace positive self-talk. See, optimistic people understand the power of their internal dialogue, and they actively cultivate this positive self-talk as a way of fostering a resilient mindset. Instead of succumbing to self-doubt and negative thinking, they consciously challenge those thoughts and replace them with more empowering beliefs. To incorporate positive self-talk into your daily life, I would start by becoming aware of what is that inner dialogue that you have. I think that is the first and probably most important step, because a lot of times we're not even consciously aware of that. It's happening, and it's happening all the time, but we're not putting our finger on what exactly it is. What is that inner dialogue that we have? So paying attention to the thoughts and beliefs that arise, especially during those challenging and stressful situations. And when you notice that negative self-talk, then pause and take a moment to question if it's valid, right? Ask yourself, is this a valid thought? Is this thought true? Is it really true? And sometimes you need to ask that question a couple of times, because it's so ingrained in your belief system that it might take that layering of asking before you're able to really realize that it's not true, right? Challenge negative thoughts by asking yourself if they are based on facts or simply are assumptions that you're making, which it happens a lot of times. It happens to me. I have this negative thought, and once I start like peeling the layers and asking the questions on, okay, what are the facts that I have that prove that this is right? I typically many times come to the conclusion that it was just an assumption that I was making. But because we do this unconsciously, that assumption appears to us as the truth. So it's important to replace those self-limiting beliefs with affirmations that highlight your strengths, your capabilities, and your potential for growth. Things that are true, though. I'm not suggesting that you replace this negative self-belief with the opposite. What I'm suggesting is that you find something that is true, that highlights your strengths, your capabilities, and your potential for growth. And then remind yourself of past successes and accomplishments that can reinforce that confidence of yours and your belief in yourself. Let me give you an example, because I think this one is always tricky, right? So one limiting belief that a lot of times we have is, I don't have time. I've been there, I've used it, like there's an opportunity and I don't have time for this. I don't have time. I would love to do this, but I don't have time. And sometimes it's just an excuse that we are making, right? And we believe that it's true because we are truly busy. I don't know anyone that I interact with on a daily basis that is not busy and sometimes even overwhelmed and have a lot of things on our plates. We all do, right? But for me, this is my own personal experience. I started to question myself. Is it true that I don't have time? Is it really true that I don't have the time? And when I start to peel those layers and ask that question several times, I'm like, okay, what are the facts? Let's be factual here. Do I really don't have the time? Am I using the 24 hours that I have in my daily budget? Am I using all of it? Right? And a lot of times, always, every time that I question this thought, I come to the conclusion that is an assumption that I'm making and it's not the truth. Because I get to choose how I use my time. And I could make changes if I really wanted to do that thing. So one affirmation that I repeat to myself frequently is, when something is a priority, when something is really important to me, I always make the time and I always find the way. That affirmation is not the opposite. I'm not saying I have time, I have all the time in the world, because that is not true, right? And my brain is going to go, hey, no, that is not true, right? But I replace it with an affirmation that is true for me, that I have evidence, because in the past it's been true many times, that when something is really a priority, I find a way to make it work and I make the time for that. So now it's not that I don't have the time. It's just that maybe right now, that is not a top priority for me. And there are other things that are higher in priority that I am choosing to allocate my time. So that's what I mean by replacing those self-limiting beliefs with affirmations that highlight your strengths, your capabilities, and your potential for growth. Another thing is, we talked about this already, but practice gratitude as a way to shift your perspective and cultivate a more positive mindset. Take time each day, as we were talking about, to reflect on the things that you're grateful for, no matter how small. And by focusing on the positive aspects of your life, you counteract that negative self-talk and you can cultivate a greater sense of appreciation and optimism, right? That's what we're talking about today. Also, we already talked about this, but surrounding yourself with supportive and encouraging people that uplift and inspire you can help as well. Seek out for friends, mentors, and colleagues who believe in your abilities and encourage you to pursue your goals. Engage in meaningful conversations and activities that reinforce the positive self-talk instead of the negative, right? That reinforce your confidence and your self-worth. By embracing in positive self-talk, you empower yourself to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals with confidence and with resilience. You cultivating a mindset of optimism and self-belief, it's enabling you to navigate life challenges with grace and with determination. Okay, we're coming to the last one, number 7, they embody resilience. Resilience is a key characteristic of optimistic people. When I was thinking of who are some role models, some people that are optimistic in nature that I admire because of that optimism, they all have this in common. They embody resilience. They embody resilience as a fundamental trait in navigating the challenges in life and all the adversities that they have. They recognize that setbacks and failures are inevitable, and that if they want to reach success, they're going to face these challenges and these adversities. And instead of allowing them to hold them back from making progress, they use them as catalyst for growth and for development. Setbacks don't define your worth or your future, right? I think when we start to embrace this thought that our setbacks don't define our worth today or in the future, then it's easier to start cultivating that resilience in our own life. right? We need to reframe our perspective on failure rather than viewing it as a reflection of our abilities and our worth. We need to see it as an opportunity for learning and self-improvement. Embracing the lessons that come from setbacks and allowing them to guide us towards greater resilience and greater strength. Bouncing back from setbacks with determination and perseverance instead of dwelling on the past failures and setbacks, and focusing our energy on moving forward and taking proactive steps towards our goals. It's critical, right? Cultivating a growth mindset that sees challenges as just temporary obstacles that are there for us to overcome, rather than these barriers that are stopping us from becoming who we want to become or achieving what we want to achieve. Adaptability is another key component of resilience. Embracing change as a natural part of life and approaching it with flexibility and openness. Rather than resisting change, seek opportunities for growth and innovation, and be willing to adjust your plans and your strategies accordingly. Remember that resilience is not about avoiding adversity altogether, but rather is about facing it with heads on, right? Like with courage and with resilience. Embrace resilience as a mindset and a way of life. And you'll find the strength and the perseverance through even the most challenging times. So that was number 7. And I want to close out by saying that becoming more optimistic is a transformational journey that can significantly enhance your well-being and the outlook that you have on your own life. By practicing some of these things like gratitude and reframing challenges and surrounding yourself with positive influences, by practicing self-compassion and focusing on solutions over problems and embracing positive self-talk and embodying resilience, you can cultivate a more positive mindset. You can embrace life with renewed optimism. Remember, yes, it does take time and effort, but with dedication and practice, you can empower yourself to lead a more joyful and fulfilling life, and you can see things through these new lenses of optimism and reframe your challenges, your setbacks, and your adversities as just temporary obstacles that are there to help you grow and become a better version of yourself. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.